into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
Recording. Say something? I think I got you.
It's the Goth Socialist Podcast for Wonderful Women.
Okay, yeah.
PDA T4.
Sound check's working. Okay, well, hello everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Jewish Hanukkah. And the
Hey, have a
rest.
Jewish Hanukkah, everybody.
This is our annual Christmas episode. And I know what you're thinking. This is one of those dirt bag left podcasts. We're going to do like a Christmas, like a fucking teleplay where it's, like the E-Boy is the Grinch or something, and it's going to have all this production. Well, fuck off. Because here
Fuck off.
at PDA, we have depression or something. I don't know. I feel like shit. I don't feel like working this week. I didn't even do Why You Mad. I don't feel like booking a guest. I don't feel like reading a book. I figured we would just bullshit about what's going on, mostly in the internet, because the internet's real bad vibes right now. And, this is a comedian podcast. If you want the news, you can fuck off and go listen to The Dig or something. Anyway,
That should be our catchphrase. You know how we have like a hard time opening the show?
yeah, you can fuck off and
watch
listen
the
to
news.
Do another podcast.
Check out The Dig. I've heard great things. Here's our show.
Anyways, whoever's still here listening, whoever has not turned off the podcast by now, welcome and settle in.
Yeah, welcome to the world of pain.
Yeah, holiday
Bitch.
pain,
You're right,
depressing holiday pain in between Christmas and New Year's, the week where you just stay inside a lot and just eat leftovers. Sad.
It's just
time.
you're alone in a room, and across the other side of the room, there's a giant baby New Year, and he looks mad as hell.
Yeah.
And what happens between the two of you, that's going to be this podcast by the end of the hour.
Yeah. 2021. Big baby 2021. He's already shit his pants.
Oh, something we should get out of the way up front is, again, I mean, you can never see this, but Anders is broadcasting from a pitch black closet because he's in a motion censored light room.
Some fans,
Keeps
some
turning
fans
off.
some fans of the pod have remarked that I'm not goth enough for the brand, so I'm trying to make up for it by potting in the dark.
That's a cool affectation to just be like constantly. It just turns entirely black wherever you are. That's pretty cool. That's spooky.
It's a power.
Should
That
we
would
turn
be
off our
good.
lights? I can turn
Would
off
that
my
be a good
lights.
superpower or not? If you can just like turn the lights off in any room, but you can't manipulate electricity in other ways, but you can just like cloak yourself in darkness at any time you want.
Well, I guess
I'm back. No, it wouldn't be. Next.
that
No?
sucks.
Okay.
It's like one of those where like the guy says he can turn. It's like the guy in Mystery Man. It says he can turn invisible. It's not really invisible. He just turned the lights off.
He can
so
actually,
no one can see anything.
he could actually do that though.
That's
if
true.
you
Kel
watch the
Mitchell?
whole movie.
Well,
No, the guy, Kel. Yes, Kel.
he did it. His career is invisible. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Hello.
Hey, right. That's why he.
No,
listens to the show.
he's sitting there right next to Keenan on SNL every night. You just don't see him.
Yeah.
He's completely naked. Hey, if you want entertainment news, turn off The Dig and turn on Pod Damn America,
That's right.
the anti-Kel Mitchell podcast.
Yeah. Talk soup in audio form.
Do you guys remember, like, when Keenan and Kel was a show? It just seems so clear to me that Kel was the star, and it was all going to be about Kel. And what happened? It's the Keenan show from now on.
I feel like we've talked about this before.
I didn't have cable, but I remember Good Burger coming out, and all I'm saying is one was larger than the other physically, and so it's possible that one.
What are you saying?
Cannibalism. Potentially
yeah, no, they're like twins in a womb. Kenan Thompson with Kel. Yeah, Kenan Thompson consumed Kel Mitchell before they were birthed, their proper Hollywood birth.
And gained his courage.
He has no idea that there's just a whole other little guy inside of him. A little guy.
It gave him the power to be in the new Grinch.
I guess
yes.
I kind of wanted to talk about this Wonder Woman movie because I like half watched it with like a roommate the other day. And, I mean, it's bad. We don't have to do like a proper podcast walk through the plot, especially because since none of us can. I think I half watched it. Anders, you said you watched the beginning. You guys both are pitch black now. It's very scary.
That's right, Jake. I'm listening from the dark.
Then it turns black in Jake's room. He's like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
No, I'm gonna do it too. Hold on.
Anders, use your powers. We said we're dumb.
Okay.
I can do it virtually.
There it is.
Nice.
So
no, we're actually the perfect panel to discuss Wonder Woman because we have every spectrum of having watched the movie, from none to 10 minutes to the whole movie.
Well,
yeah,
I kind of half watched the whole movie though. I don't really understand the plot, but it's the same as all the rest of the movies. There was like a stone, they have to get a stone, and then
I hate when I have to get a stone.
there was
Is there anything worse?
A love interest and shit. It was fucking stupid, but it was pretty funny because everybody's fucking arguing about it. And the only thing I do know about it is that it has like, because Wonder Woman is like an Israeli IDF thing now, which we could talk about a little bit. It has these like really coded sequences. Like there's this scene where there's like 4 children that are playing soccer and like on the side of the highway in like a desert, and then somebody launches a missile and Wonder Woman like jumps on top of the missile and rides it to get to the children to like save them. And some guy on Twitter was saying like this is like in direct reference to this IDF bombing of like 4 Palestinian children who were playing soccer, which like
where someone rode a missile.
Well, no. In reality, they just killed them with the missile, but I guess the movie is supposed to be retconning it to where, like, she actually surfed on top of the missile and saved those children.
They were all out of airplanes and helicopters. They didn't have any other forms of transportation. She had no other choice.
Well, this is why we need to be giving them more money, is because if they could develop a woman to ride the missile, these things wouldn't be happening.
Yeah. So, like, that kind of sounds like a wacko, but apparently in real life, Gal Gadot like applauded that attack. She was like, "Yes, good, kill the children and shit." So,
4 less kites.
Either way, and then the other thing I noticed in between like playing Hades or whatever and looking at the screen was that at the end of the movie, there's this like something. It's the stone grants wishes or something, and the evil guy who's like a white guy. He fucking takes the stone and he's like, I'm going to let everyone in the world grant their wishes and then I'm going to eat the stone or something. Some bullshit like that, right?
Don't eat the stone. We need that.
There's a sequence where like around the globe, all these people are like, I wish my mom was still alive. And then some guy in like Ireland is like, I wish the Troubles never happened. And then like, somebody in like South Africa is like, I don't know. And then it cuts to this real quick.
Wish apartheid would never end.
Real quick, there's someone just in a blown out Middle Eastern like bunker house thing, and they wish for nuclear weapons. And it cuts real fast, but it's like, wait a minute. Was that supposed to be like Hamas or something? Was it bad that they were wishing for nukes?
Some guy. Doesn't matter who. What matters is it could be anyone.
And then,
so, I mean, how do you get out of that situation? That sounds pretty tough for Wonder Woman.
Here's the third thing that happened in the movie, and this thing I liked, and then I'll see the floor to debate about the movie. So it's really bad, but then like third act mini boss, not the main fight. I don't think like the prelude to the main fight. Maybe it was the main fight.
Okay.
There's like a Kristen Wiig character who just turns into a Jellicle cat, like from
what?
The Cats.
Oh, she's a bad guy?
Well, she takes some DNA thing that like turns her half like tiger or something, and so she becomes fast.
Is she Cheetara?
I guess. I don't know if that's in the same.
From the Thundercats crossover?
Is that DC? Are they allowed to do that? I don't know. I think she's just a cat.
I think they may have bought the rights to it. I mean, and
I
that
think
would
they
make
may
sense
own
if they're
Thundercats, and that Thundercats is coming out soon, and we have to watch Thundercats and tell people it's for liberals.
Oh, okay.
Well, if they're going for like an 80s thing, then it would make sense to sort of ape Thundercats. It's owned by WB.
Oh, right, because it's set in the 80s, yeah. Well, anyway, that part was cool because she kills the cat, which I thought was very funny. She puts on this golden armor, and then she like grabs the cat and jumps down into the water with her, and then like she drowns. So the climax of the movie is she drowns a cat person.
Meow.
That part was cool. So the movie's not entirely
I've often noticed, I mean, this is a trend, I think, for most superhero things. The mini boss before the final boss, usually the coolest part.
Yeah, it was much cooler.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I like Wonder Woman as a character. What I don't get before we get into it too much is, and we could spoil this.
Yeah, you can tell us here. We're all in pitch blackness.
Yeah, Chris Pine in the last movie, he exploded in an airplane. How does he survive that? Is he frozen? Does she like those molecules reassemble through magic, or like how the fuck does that work?
I have no idea. I didn't see the first part of the movie.
All right, he just shows up.
I have a question for you. So you saw the first 10 minutes of this movie, and you seem genuinely interested in the subject matter. Why didn't you just finish the movie?
We were at my girlfriend's aunt's house, and we had to leave because she had to go to bed.
Oh, okay, that's a good reason.
And we had to drive. Yeah,
I thought maybe Wonder Woman like broke character, and you were like, she would never do that. Diana would never do that. I can't watch this. It's inaccurate.
Well,
the character was like, I saw the first. Did you guys see the first one?
No,
because it took place in World War I, and from the concept, I was like, that's the fucking dumbest idea I've ever heard.
I mean, I'm biased again there because I'm a World War I head, but in general, though, I think Wonder Woman's a great character, and it doesn't have to be. It's unfortunate that it has been sort of they've laundered in sort of a Zionist ideology to it.
Well, yeah, because I think we were talking about this maybe before the show started a little bit, but like the original comic book character Wonder Woman is crazy in origin because the writer who created it was in like a polyamorous relationship, and the character Wonder Woman is based on was like their unicorn like second, third girlfriend or whatever that they just like lived with and fucked and had like a crazy 50s swinger key party lifestyle with. So it could have been crazy. This could be like a crazy, weird, filthy, fucking raunchy, I don't know.
And due to the time, I mean, the kind of bracelets you wear back then as part of a sex couple, those will give you cancer down the road. They didn't find that out until the 60s, but you can't just wear bracelets that hard.
Yeah. That lasso of truth was just radiation from 1950s.
It doesn't get anyone to tell the truth. It just
give everyone cancer.
Also gives you cancer. You're just covered in cancer. Oh. Everything about Wonder Woman.
I mean, it's funny because she actually does utilize the lasso to, kick ass. Whereas in a lot of the comics, it's literally just to make people tell the truth.
It's like a plot device thing. It can only do one thing. It just makes you tell the truth. Yeah.
Right. And I do appreciate that in the movie, but I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that it takes place over the course of, a century. Her this, I guess, trilogy now, or her whole span as a character. I kind of think that it makes more sense if you're doing a comic book movie in the modern era. I like period pieces, so I'm conflicted there. But the thing that I feel like it could be and be better and be unproblematic in our view is if the island that she's from is in the Mediterranean, Themyscira, which is, I guess, close to Israel, kind of, but really it's close to Greece. And she's supposed to be, and according to some versions, she's like the daughter of Zeus. She has like godlike powers. She is a god in the ancient Greek like sense. Like the kind of the conceit of the comics is that was real, that shit. And we don't know that it wasn't, the ancient Greek religion.
We don't know that it wasn't.
Maybe that was real. And they have an actual island of gods and goddesses. And that's where she comes from. And I think if they did like a modern version of it, this would have been a better take on it. Is if they did a 21st century version of it and had her fighting on behalf of Syriza. So it would be taking on the EU. You could have her alter ego like get a job in Brussels doing some bullshit, and she just like puts Angela Merkel in a chokehold and lets her people be free. She's fighting EU bankers and bureaucrats. I think that would be a better premise.
Yeah, no.
Well, it would be a better premise for you. I don't think it'd be a better premise for like the international millions of like comic book pee pantses who want to watch this fucking thing.
I think it would be, because if you're taking the roots of the character seriously, it comes, as we've discussed on our Red Sun episode, a lot of the DC Comics characters come out of a social justice, New Deal era sort of popular front tradition.
I mean, no, I think that if you did make Anders' Greek version of Wonder Woman, the people that like this movie wouldn't even fucking notice, Yeah. It'd be fine, because it's not as though there's a sophisticated understanding of like the underlying politics of World War One and then like the Reagan years or whatever that are happening in the other movie and then this movie. This movie, there's like a fucking fake Ronald Reagan in it and shit, and he's not even talking about neoliberal shit or whatever. It's just like, good job, Wonder Woman, you did it, you saved the day or whatever.
Oh god,
it fucking sucks. So I think
Wonder Woman, we need you to tear down the wall. It's your last chance, Wonder Woman.
You could,
it's like Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah, basically. I think that you could subtly remake this movie with kind of better politics, and then also keep it, like New Deal style, right? And also just keep her like in her origin, what she is a thinly coated like fetish character. Have you ever seen those? You see this on Twitter a lot. These weird random illustrations. They're like really well illustrated of like a woman with just like a huge ass that's like sitting on 30 guys' head. There's like a specific weird comic book illustrator that does this. That's what Wonder Woman should be in the movies. Just put it directly back to what she was dreamt of to begin with. So over sexualized, disgusting Greek. Like freedom fighter.
Needless to say,
I think, anyway. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of people would argue, well, these movies can't. They're going to make them into propaganda no matter what, right? Which is weird, because like we were just saying, all this IDF stuff was just tacked on to Wonder Woman like 4 years ago when they made the original movie. But also, so check this out. I was thinking about this today because I was arguing with all these people on the internet, and they're like, "You just don't like the movie because it's sexist or whatever, or because you're sexist." And
because you hate
because it's sexist. That's right. That's why I don't like it.
You just said it. You wish it had sexier ladies.
I do.
Who sat on you?
But like, on some level, I want to argue with people and go like, "Look, I just don't like superhero movies because they're all like propaganda. Like, this is so clearly like Pentagon bullshit with the the killing the Palestinian kids and stuff like that." But then check this out, right? Another movie came out this year, a DC movie called Birds of Prey, right? And Birds of Prey was fucking tight. I don't know if either of you guys watched it, but it had none of the propaganda in it at all. It was just about like Harley Quinn eating sandwiches and fucking fighting weird businessmen and shit, and like all the themes were just about like friendship. Like, it had nothing to do with war.
It was marketed towards a London audience because they were birds. Who are these birds?
Oh,
That's what they call women over there. That's true.
That's what they call women over there, and that's what I'm saying. Anyway, no, it did sound like a much better movie. We did an episode on this a million years ago with Raghav, but the CIA will directly pay people to change the movies. So that's how they all end up like this.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
There's some like Joker is I would say that was subversive, or I mean, in retrospect, I think the Dark Knight stuff was reactionary.
Oh yeah.
I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, but is anyone else just tired of watching the superhero movies? Even for the hot takes, just like I don't want to see any more of them.
I mean, I'm even like, I grew up reading comic books all the time, and even I'm like, I don't really feel like watching these most of the time. I do want to finish Wonder Woman, but generally,
I bet I'd like it. I like all kinds of shit that is on purpose made by the military. Top Gun, fantastic.
Yeah, Top Gun's great.
If anything, they should make Wonder Woman more like Top Gun.
They should make female Top Gun. Honestly, that'd be a great fucking movie, and it would be neoliberal trash.
Reboot.
Yeah, make a girl Top Gun, because I mean the movie.
It's a fucking alley-oop.
It would be insanely propagandistic to make a Top Gun in the year 2020 that's like, young ladies, join up and fucking bomb the shit out of Afghanistan or whatever. Right. But I bet it would be a good movie. It would probably be at least fun. It would be
called Top and/or Bottom Gun, and it's just like a
Top and/or Bottom Gun. It rolls off the tongue.
Well, I think that was the
everyone buy a ticket to Top and/or with a / Bottom Gun.
That was the joke in the first Top Gun, though, right? Because they were gay,
right? And that they all wanted to top famously, and none of them wanted to bottom because they're closeted.
I see.
Well, they were also.
I remember hearing. Apparently, when Top Gun came out, there was just a surge in dudes joining the Navy, specifically. And I remember hearing that. And then this is like when I was like 18. I was working at a restaurant, and I had this boss who was just the biggest dick I have ever worked for. He would just like scrutinize everything I did and like tell me, I was mopping the wrong way, and he learned how to mop from the Navy. And then I did the math, and he definitely was in like that generation of people.
Oh no.
Who probably joined because of Top Gun.
He had a lot of anger to work out. His career in the Navy.
Did you know in Top Gun they showed like how they do like screenings of movies to like market test them before they kind of make the final cut? They showed a cut of the movie that didn't have everything in it, and all the audience members said that it was like, they were like, I don't understand the movie because these two guys are clearly gay, but they like never resolve the story between them. And they were like, they're not, the people that made the movie, they were like, they're not supposed to be gay. And they're like, the audience is going, oh yeah, no, this is a gay movie. And so that's why they like wrote in the love story and like the sex scene with the full of food and shit, is because they were like, they had to counteract this just de facto like accidentally gay movie they made.
For what movie?
So they filmed all the stuff retroactively with what's her name?
I think so. Yeah, that's the story.
Wow. So who was supposed to be gay? Iceman and Tom Cruise?
Well, they just made a movie about these fucking fighter pilots beefing with each other and then playing volleyball. And then they like showed it to an audience, and the audience was like, "Why'd you show us this like gay movie?" And also, why didn't they ever address it? And then the fucking screenwriter was like, "They're not gay. Oh shit, we better add a sex scene with a woman." To like,
and they're cool guys who like living together on a boat. No, I forgot you were talking about Top Gun for a second. I was like, "What movie is this? Is this going to be like?" The original draft of Call Me By Your Name was too vague. They had to redo it to be like, just to be clear, they are gay. They're not just friends.
What if they made...
Look, he fucked a peach.
They should make Fighter Jet Call Me By Your Name.
Like interesting.
Call me
by... the other way with it. Even less women.
Yeah.
Call Me By Your Call Sign,
There you go.
Oh, here's my question about the all-female Top Gun remake. We're going to make a lot of money off this, which is good. I'm wetting my beak. and I'm dipping it into the water and I'm taking a sip. But here's the thing. If we're switching things up, we're changing the genders, we're seeing who's in the planes now, it's women. You can't have a volleyball scene because people are going to want to see women play volleyball, and you can't give them what they want because they're pigs. So what masculine game are the women going to play to kind of turn it on its head?
Air hockey?
You got it backwards. So the original Top Gun is straight men playing gay volleyball. The gayest coded sport, I guess. So in female Top Gun,
badminton is pretty gay.
Sure, but it's...
Who asked you?
Beside the point. My point being that you have to invert this when you make girl Top Gun, and they have to play a lesbian sport. So that...
Air hockey.
Everyone knows is softball, I think, or
field hockey.
Rugby.
They're playing field hockey on an aircraft carrier.
No.
It's either field hockey or rugby.
No, it's not. It's not what you would think. It's not like the most fucking I mean, I'm sure that like there are lesbians who play like fucking, UFC fighting and then like rugby and shit like that. But for some reason, there's tons of lesbians in like softball and soccer, I think is what it is. I don't know why. We should definitely ask a lesbian about this, but I know this from like having friends that are lesbians and stuff. They go like, "Oh yeah, soccer." It's like a big punchline and like.
Right, but I think soccer. I think of women in general. I don't specifically think of lesbians. Softball, you have me there. I see lesbians playing softball.
I just think my dad used to play softball. I don't know if that's
softball.
An old people. I remember someone was tweeting.
Anders, it's time you phase it. Your dad is a lesbian. You can't keep putting this off forever. He loves women. That's how he made you.
There was someone complaining on online that they play baseball and they're an adult, and everyone asks them, "You play baseball, not softball?" And they get mad at that because they assume it's because they're not a cis man that they can't play baseball. But to me, that's just like, I don't know it's surprising that an adult would play baseball recreationally. That seems like it's
right. Well, it's the worst
tackle
sport.
Football.
Yeah,
it is. It's boring, and if you're not getting paid, you might as well do the easier version. It's like, to me, that's like playing tackle football as a grown up. Who's not in any sort of league. Or it's in a recreational league.
I don't know if you've done that, but it is a disaster.
Yeah, everyone's throwing their back out and shit.
Yeah, people like pop their collarbones just on like a Saturday afternoon. It's nuts. It's a bad idea.
Remember when you popped one of your teeth out or something?
I do remember when I popped one of my teeth out. We were playing comedian touch football in 2016, and I am not very coordinated, so I am getting more physical with people than I need to. I'll be the first person to admit that. I may have pushed Pete Liddell and then found out he was on my team later, but after that, I went to go catch a ball and then tripped and fell into the back of famously big-dicked comedian Joseph Roberts' head, and knocked my teeth clean out of my head, and everyone looked at my face and screamed until I was rushed from the field to an emergency dentist, and they got the teeth back in. And the point is, football is a fun game.
You got your teeth knocked out?
And that was two-hand touch.
Yeah, dude, I'll send you the pictures right now. It's nuts.
Is that why you have like?
It's really bad.
You have like you have good teeth. You have a good smile.
They they weren't knocked all the way out. They were like snapped at the nerve, like 180 degrees back into my head, but not all the way out.
God damn, dude.
People were just screaming. It was crazy. Oh yeah, it's like saved on my phone for some reason.
That's horrible, man. Snapped at the nerve. Think about that sentence all day today.
Ouch.
I'm sending you a text right now.
Okay.
Yo. I think it's got to be. That's what I mean. I do think that one day the NFL is going to become two-hand touch, but they're going to still, I guess, have teeth being snapped out at the nerve.
That would be funny.
I do not think that.
No, you think it's going to remain tackle forever?
Yeah, I don't think people will watch it if it's two-hand touch football.
I mean,
two-hand touch football is not fun to watch.
If there's nothing else on,
oh my God, Alex! Jesus fucking Christ, dude!
Yeah, I was like in a real bad mood for the rest of the week, and I couldn't figure out why. And I was like, oh, because of the blunt trauma in my head.
Yeah, bet. Holy shit.
It is weird about serious injuries like that. Like,
we'll make that
because
the photo for the episode.
Please do. I want everyone to see it. Enjoy this terrible picture of me. If you damage yourself in a way that like severs a nerve, you don't feel anything.
Oh, that's good at least.
So I didn't know something was wrong until people started screaming.
Ah.
I actually had a not as severe of an injury, but a dental situation myself. When I was 11, I was at Shakespeare camp. And my friend and I, me and my friend were doing a dance, and we knocked teeth, and the lower half of my right front tooth just shattered, and I chipped it, and I had to get it capped. And then I was talking with my uncle on the phone about it, and he was like, "I heard you chipped your tooth. Did you get in a fight?" I was like, "No, I was at Shakespeare camp." And he's like, "Oh, was it like a sword fight?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh, well, was it like a kissing scene or making out with a chick?"
Yeah, you snapped a tooth.
This is your lesbian dad.
Going to dance with my friend who is a boy, which is fine.
Yeah,
it's a good way to chip your tooth.
Wow, you've been fighting the patriarchy for so long.
Yeah, seriously, I would have watched.
And that's why your Wonder Woman opinions are first and foremost on the podcast, in my opinion.
That's why the character Iceman snaps his teeth like that in the movie Top Gun. It's to show off that he.
To show off. If just try and kiss me. Just try. Get over here and try to kiss me. I'll snap my own tooth in half.
Look how strong my teeth are. Did you know that they like dentistry until like 50 years ago or some shit? They used to rip out people's like entire sets of teeth and just make them dentures, and they were like 23.
Yeah. Just completely unnecessary.
I did know that, and I think it's cool. And they give you
weird.
wooden teeth.
I read the book Love in the Time of Cholera during the quarantine, just as like the bit, but also because I wanted to read it because I heard it was good. And the guy in the book, there's one chapter, he's like, yeah, then I had all my teeth ripped out and I had the dentures made because I think it's cool. It was just a weird part of the story where he's like...
It was the style at the time.
It was the style at the time. It's like,
think of how much more hardcore that is than getting grills. Having all of your teeth ripped out of your head.
Yeah. That's so crazy.
I mean, I guess you might as well, if you know they're all going to go rotten, you might as well do them all at once, right?
That's awfully fatalistic, though, you think? I mean,
back then, everything was rotting in the body.
Yeah, but... Did you do that?
I don't know about this,
any
Anders.
other part of the body? Did you go, well, I'm going to get syphilis. Might as well have my dick ripped off, and then
might as well have my dick ripped off and replaced with wooden dick.
I guess maybe not every other part, but teeth like they didn't brush, they didn't floss, they didn't know about.
You gotta floss.
You got
to. Not
too hard.
You have to floss. I don't know if maybe this is anything. Did you guys watch Tenet? I watched Tenet.
No, I didn't watch Tenet. I've heard not so good. Is it?
Well, I mean, did you like Inception?
No, couldn't follow it.
Then don't watch it.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's really annoying in my perspective. It's like a movie made by a guy who's like the whole time the narrative is just like, I'm trying to trick you. Hey, I'm trying to trick you. You can't even understand the premise of this movie because I'm so smart and you can't follow it. But trust me, it's really good. If you knew what this movie was about, it'd be so good. I mean, you don't, but I made it. I'm really smart. Yeah, it's over. It's been 2.5 hours.
No,
that's the way I felt with it. It's just like, I'm too dumb for this. I'm sorry.
But it's also like a dumb person's version of smart, where it's like
that's exactly
confusing.
Yeah.
And then you find it out and you're like, oh, time bullets. You nailed it. That is smart. Thanks for all the karate in this.
Now, that Christopher Nolan shit, that thing he like brought into the cultural imagination, the like smart action movie where everything's really washed out and like serious. Like that whole vibe, it just sucks. I hate it because it's not smart. If you were to make an action movie, make it dumb and campy and weird and just like a good time, you know, make a fucking Jackie Chan movie or something. But the thing where it's like intellectual because they can curve bullets or so, that shit sucks. I hate it.
Wanted.
Yeah,
I wish he
wasn't it
made
about
Wanted.
one bullet that goes back in time or something? It's like the Brave Little Toaster, but about a bullet.
The Brave Little Bullet.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I don't even know.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
It's like Thomas.
No, I mean the whole thing is like
bullet. It's got a little face.
It's
on
like
it.
Thomas the Tank Engine, but it's a bullet, and he drives around jolly old, and it sails into red coats and out the back of them.
Is it, George Carlin's riding on top of it? He's got the little conductor hat.
And he's got a little conductor hat. That's right. I don't even need to tell you about the movie because this is what happened.
All right.
Anyway, if you liked Inception, you should watch it. You'll love it. It's like a great if you were gonna leave something on the background of a bar that there's no way you can hear, but just has crazy shit going on the whole time, it's an ideal version of one of those. I will say that.
Those
Have you
are
guys
cool.
ever seen The Tenants?
The tenants in America that are hard on their luck.
No, the movie with based on the Bernard Malamud book. This is one of my favorite movies when I was 16, oddly. But it's about it's played by Dylan McDermott, the guy from Practice or whatever. It's one of those lawyer shows. And Snoop Dogg plays opposite him, and they're like he's a Jewish novelist in the 70s, like living in a building with like a black nationalist guy, and they're like trading, giving each other notes and stuff, and they are fighting over a love interest played by Rose Byrne.
And you found this at Shakespeare Camp?
I might as well have. It could be. It's very Shakespearean. It's a good movie.
Have you ever seen Ants?
As far as I remember.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
have you seen Ants?
Woody Allen?
Yeah. The Woody Allen CGI.
It's about an ant who did nothing wrong. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
Well, I remember Ants
That's like
came
the
out
premise of the film.
the same year.
He's hanging out with a little larva.
And you find out like that's his larva, and he's still like romantically interested in it, and you're like, what the?
He was also dating the Queen. He was the Queen's best servant, and then he started.
No, he's dating
Hanging
the
her larva.
queen. It's like it's weird you're dating the queen.
But
Ants don't get hung up on stuff like that, man.
I guess they can't. They don't have enough dimension for it.
They can't.
That came out the same year as A Bug's Life, I remember.
Yeah, it was
And it
back
was
when
If not the same,
there used to be 2 movies every summer. They were just the same movie.
Right.
They just competed.
Yeah. Yeah. What else was there? It was Ed TV and Truman Show.
Deep Impact and
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Apocalyptico. I did start watching. You guys ever see Passion of the Christ?
No.
I've never seen it. I'm too scared of Christ.
It is scary. I will tell you. My girlfriend wanted to watch it. We were like looking for a Christmas movie, and everything I suggested, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. She's like, no, and she just wanted to watch this because she's a big history head.
Naomi's like kind of messed up, man.
Her favorite movie when she was like 11 was Saving Private Ryan, which is like
That makes
I guess-
way more sense than watching Passion of the Christ or Christmas to me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm being like gender normative here because I mine was too probably, but
Yeah.
it's unusual that a little girl would love a war movie, but maybe
It's a
that's just-
movie for boys.
It is more normal than we think. But it was it's such I've never seen a movie like this because it's a big budget Hollywood movie, but it's done. I gotta say, sometimes reactionaries make great art, and that's frankly what this is. It's like the passion is real.
They're very libidinal, you know? I mean, they're driven by
Yes.
something. It's just all like emotion or whatever. I watched Lethal Weapon a while back for like, because everyone was having the, like, is Die Hard a Christmas movie debate as they want to have around this time of year, right? And then I watched Die Hard because I never really sat down to watch it, and I watched Lethal Weapon because Lethal Weapon is the other Die Hard. It's like the
other Die Hard
of that.
It's the ants of Die Hard.
Yeah. And it's also a Christmas movie, which is really weird. Never comes up. There's like, it's fucking Christmas in that movie. It's bizarre. But also fucking Mel Gibson. For one thing, he's great in that movie. Like, I know he's horrible and shit, but he plays this like lunatic who's a cop who's like suicidal and like got a death wish and all this crazy shit. And he's very fun to watch because you could tell he loves the role and he wants to play a psycho, and he kind of is a psycho. But it's real fun to watch. But it's really bizarre when you think about A Passion of the Christ after that, because you're like, he also made that on purpose. Like, this is all connected, you know?
I haven't seen that movie. Does he make Jesus kind of like a devil may care roguish type?
That'd be cool. If Jesus is
like a psycho,
he grabs
psychovato,
the nail and he puts it right up to his own hand. He's like, "Put it in, motherfucker! Put it in! I don't give a fuck."
Give me another crown of thorns, you bitch.
So did he direct that too? Did Gibson direct?
No, I just really, I'm going off completely my own instinct here, but to me it seemed like he really likes that character because he played it a bunch of times. It doesn't seem like he was like, oh no, I have to do another Lethal Weapon movie. He made like 1 million of those movies. It seems like he's got a through line with all these like psychos that he plays, and then that through line for some reason ends at the crucifixion of Christ. You know,
the original Psycho.
Like, he took a lot of glee in like the violence, I think.
Anders, yeah. I have questions about Passion of the Christ because that came out when I was in Catholic school, so to defeat George Bush, I couldn't see it because at the time there was a strong culture war involved, and also it sounded scary, and I didn't want to. But like, how much of the movie is just him getting crucified?
Most of it, yeah. The beginning is just him. Or it's like leading up to him being crucified, a lot of it, because he gets captured by, I guess, these, I don't know what they would be called, but they're Jewish, but they're kind of like working under the auspices of the Romans. And so a lot of the beginning is finding out what to do with him because he's like declared a heretic by this Jewish faction. And they bring him to Pontius Pilate, and Pontius Pilate.
Dangers of factionalism.
Yeah. They're just like, no one wants to take responsibility for killing him because he does have a devoted following. And so they're scared about what's going to happen to them. But they also really resent his hereticalness because he's claiming to be the son of God. But it honestly...
Right. It's like if we kidnapped the horse whisperer.
Yeah. It's strange because... This is going to sound like a kind of out of left field, but it did honestly remind me of our conversation with Brett and Bryn about the Professional Revolutionary.
Ooh.
Because like the way it was portrayed by Jim Caviezel and directed by Gibson, it's like, yeah, you believe this guy. He really cares about other people. He really wants to die for everybody's sins. And he tries to cut a deal with Satan. Who's played the scariest part of the movie is Satan, who's literally just an albino guy without eyebrows.
Wait, Satan in the
movie?
Satan
is so scary. He's so scary.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Dude, it's all in like Aramaic, and it has subtitles. Like they did the authentic like language. It's amazing.
That sounds.
It's way more Israeli than Wonder Woman is.
I was gonna say, fucking no. This is what they should do for the third movie. Because they're making another Wonder Woman. They announced it today. The villain should be Mel Gibson as Jesus Christ fighting her as revenge for being crucified. And he's like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, year 0.
Yeah. She goes back in time.
The movie starts with her capturing Jesus, and then the rest is her torturing Jesus.
But it reminded me of Lenin because it's like, where is the line between like actual I guess you could say Messiah or just revolutionary and cult leader?
Magic.
I guess
it's always magic. You can make fish from out of thin air and stuff. It's crazy.
But someone like Lenin or Jesus, they are doing what they're doing out of a genuine, belief and confidence in themselves and the people around them, and they're actually trying to accomplish something noble. But couldn't you say the same for like David Koresh?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. So like, let's look at Jesus as like a vanguard type figure, right? Well, especially when you
I often do.
When you have a singular person who's like, I singularly am the entire vanguard, you have like Jay Posadas, right? You have a guy who just straight up turns into a cult leader. So maybe the problem is centralization. Like maybe it needs to be a bunch of different people, or maybe this is just an inherent, no matter what you do, it's always going to end up like this kind of problem.
I like to think that you should at least have 12 apostles. And then maybe they break up the power differential.
Right. Lieutenants.
You do come out with different variances of the same story though, and that does divide party loyalty among the different Bible chapters.
I mean, Jay Posadas had like 12 guys. He basically had the same thing going on, and it didn't work. He still was crazy.
It didn't work for him, you're saying?
He fucked all of them.
There's got to be more to it than that.
I don't think he fucked the guys. He fucked like he fucked like their wives and stuff. I finished Andy's book a while back that we started for that episode, and it's a good read. For the holiday season next year, if you remember, 12 months from now, buy someone Andy Gitlitz's book. I Want to Believe, because it's a good story about Jay Posadas, the alien dolphin nuclear communist Trotskyist.
If you got really horny from Jake telling you that this guy had sex and you want to skip to that part, you got to get this book.
You got to get it. It's so
to the middle.
Wait, so back to The Passion. Alex.
Back to The Passion.
Did people watch it in Catholic school? Was it where your teachers all like, let's go see it?
So, I mean, you can't show that movie to children.
But
you can't encourage the children to watch it with their parents, but there's going to be pushback.
It's so funny that he made a movie that you can't show to children, like in school. He made like an X-rated Christ movie.
Yeah, it was like almost NC-17 for No Christ 17.
Yeah. Well, but the thing about it was that like...
From X-rated stands for Christ. It's like Christmas.
Also stands for Christ. It's Christmas.
Yeah. But the thing about it was like it brought so many people out of the woodwork who just didn't see movies ever. But they like I remember that summer, 2004, being in a church basement, and this would have been a Lutheran church in South Dakota, and they had a poster for Passion of the Christ, just like this rural ass town in South Dakota. And like they were Protestant, and it was made by a Catholic. So it was just everybody who was Christian was going to see this thing, and people were bringing their. I knew people who brought their, who parents brought them.
Well, in capitalism, really, man, that's what you have to do if you want to make a shit ton of money. Everybody goes about it the wrong way. Everybody goes like, I'm going to be a comedian, right? And I'm going to try to make everyone laugh. I'm going to try to find what the common things are. Everyone dates. I'm going to talk about dating. No. What you have to do is be like the one stand-up comedian that has ever existed from like, fucking some insane country. I don't know, like
Azerbaijan.
The one Azerbaijan guy, right? Because then when you fucking sell your shit, you'll get literally everyone from that community to buy.
You have to be the one stand-up comedian who only does material about the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Right, yeah.
And then you get all the sections out, and they're all going to see your big special. And it's just 90 minutes, and you get more and more passionate as time goes on. Oh, this is related before we get too far off the subject. I said you can't show children Passion of the Christ. I don't think this happened to my wife, but some of my friends around the same time when they're like 13 were tricked into watching Schindler's List.
Yeah.
They went to like Jewish Sunday school, whatever that is, and they were like, special meeting today. We're having a movie night, and there's free donuts. And so kids were like, oh, donuts. Yeah, they're like, shut off the lights. 6 million.
Wow.
God damn.
Trade them for staplers.
God. Yeah.
But that's not in a school, I guess. So maybe I think that's like a legal thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Man. I don't know. Why were we talking about this?
It's a good holiday movie.
Because we want to encourage people to watch it. Because Andrews thought it was a good movie.
No, that sounds awesome. I'm totally gonna watch that. That sounds weird as fuck.
I've never seen anything like it. It's just like, because it makes no attempt to be sort of relatable to an American audience, and yet that, it's for America, really. And that was like the Gibson peak, like there's some suspicion that this was anti-Semitic because of the way he portrayed that certain, but as Naomi explained, she was like, well, that was one faction and there are other factions. I mean, Jesus was Jewish, so I mean, I'm not.
I hear he was king of the Jews.
He was, yeah. But there was something to it as to these like kind of conniving, like cynical people who, I mean, I'm sure they believed what they were doing too. So, but that was kind of the start of it, and then he did he got pulled over drunk, right? And he started talking about how the Jews had started all the wars and shit like that. And I was like, all right,
which is a bold move to get out of a ticket too.
Yeah.
Because you're really trying to spin it the other way. They're like, why are you drunk? You're like, you want to talk about me? Let's talk about the industry, pal. Let's talk big picture for a minute. Put the gun down.
Did you guys ever see the tape of our pal J-Mac getting arrested, John McAfee?
Okay, I was like, who's J-Mac?
He gets pulled over. He gets pulled over, and this is, I guess, when he's still there's still a warrant out for his arrest, and he comes back to the U.S. from like Europe or wherever, and he gets pulled over, and he's like, "My name's John McAfee. You've probably read about me." And and the cop's just like, "No, I don't think I have." It's like, well, that's surprising. You maybe on the news.
My friends call me J-Mac.
Maybe that's our Christ. We never know. Yeah. I wonder honestly if what Jesus was like. I mean, he could have been an asshole, right? He could have no. I mean, he could have done good stuff and been an egomaniac.
I don't know about all that. We're talking about a man who has unlimited bread.
Yeah.
Well,
he's like a human Olive Garden.
Yeah, he's like, whenever you're with him, you're family. How can that be a bad guy?
But see, I don't think that like most Christians believe that he had powers, right? A lot do.
No, I do think that most Christians do believe that, but go on.
I don't know. Everyone, it's split. Like, I know people say that all the time because I used to be like an annoying atheist when I was younger, and I think especially I still had a little bit of that on me when I moved up here to the Northeast. And I'd talk about it sometimes and people would be like, well, no, like no one actually believes that. Like, it's stupid when Ricky Gervais makes fun of Christians because it's like, well, no one actually believes that. But no, you should go to Texas sometime and you'll meet somebody who's like, I literally believe. Like,
right. There are a lot of people who do. That's true.
If you don't believe he's magic, there's no reason to follow through the other stuff isn't like scientific. It's all based on the fact that he can kill you or send you to hell or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think he was a religious leader. He was like, he believed in the cause. He was like Lenin.
Yeah, he was Lenin, as we established.
Dropping Jesus like Lenin for the third time this episode.
Yeah.
Anders with his agenda, his New York agenda.
That's right. I mean, yeah, he was.
Who is to be forgiven?
I think he was real, and I guess.
Tickled me. I don't know.
But he's certainly like. I guess the fact that you got 12 guys who all still like loved him after the fact.
Do you have 12 like good friends? I mean, that's a lot of friends.
No, I don't think I could get 12 of my friends to like write a book about all the shit I did.
No, nonetheless, like 12 different books, all competing to the best Anders book in a row.
This would be a good bit if you had to do stand up at like a church for like like a corporate gig where you make like $1 million, but it's the worst assignment of all time. Be like, this guy got 12 friends to follow him around. I can't even get 12 friends to agree to a Zoom chat. You know what I'm saying, folks?
Oh, yes.
Hollering and laughing and falling in the down in the pews and stuff and fanning themselves. You know you're killing in a church when people are fanning themselves.
Yeah, because they get so hot from all the laughing.
Yeah.
It's true. Or for being promiscuous. You ever hear the expression, sweating like a sex worker in church?
Yes, sweating like a sex worker in church.
Uh-huh. That's what they say.
Old saying we all know.
That's, I believe, Charlotte Clymer recently was speaking about the Lord and Savior and talking about how he was a Jewish socialist who hangs out with sex workers. All the things she definitely loves.
Okay.
That's socialism. But it's funny, yeah, he can be reclaimed by anybody. So, why, yeah.
My point is he was magic, and don't defy him. Because he'll make you pay.
Well, he's also
son of a bitch.
He's also Goku. The guy who plays Goku died this week, Alex.
The Ocean dub. You confused me. I thought Sean Schemmel died.
Oh, I didn't know there was like 1 million Gokus.
There's several Gokus. I checked his Twitter. I follow him on Twitter, and I was like, Sean! And no, he wasn't. He's fine.
I thought he was. I just thought it was timely because I guess he died a month ago, but they're still tweeting about it. I thought he died on Christmas, and I was like, oh my god, it's like a Christ. Like they're going to bring him back with the Dragon Balls, and it's like a 1-to-1 metaphor. How has no one ever thought of that before?
Yeah, it does seem like if Goku was going to die, it would be like on Christmas or some bullshit. He's always on the nose. There's no subtlety about Goku.
But is Goku
is how you make an action movie.
Is Goku a Christ figure, though? Do you think?
Yeah, he's always dying for your sins constantly. Except with the big perspective, it's pretty obvious they're just his sins and actually nobody else's sins, but he is dying a lot. Yeah. And he comes back changed.
And he's also a Lenin guy, right?
Yeah, he really believes in fighting. I get he's not really a Lenin guy. I think that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah. I think they're going to need to do some sort of like Dragon Ball Z like thing for Christianity to get the Zoomers engaged in it, because you're not going to win them over with Bible verses at this point. I think it's got to be action packed, sort of like little TikToks about Christ doing magic.
Alex, is there Christian anime?
New tablets out. It turns out Jesus, he killed people, and it kicked ass the way he did it. He kicked them through a mountain.
I'm reading. I'm looking at Charlotte's tweet now, and she's saying that Jesus advocated universal health care, which I guess to her meant like back then he wanted everybody to sign up for like some Sanskrit Obamacare exchange that would be like doled out on like a huge tablet.
Is she attacking Jesus? She hates like healthcare and shit, right?
Yeah, she hates.
Well, but that's universal healthcare to them still means private plans.
Oh yeah.
Like notice she didn't say government run healthcare or free healthcare.
Well, that's pissing me off a little bit. But back to the Christian anime, I don't think it's been tapped, Jake. They'll do anime sometimes that's like we did a whole thing on Ballin' Out where they made an anime that's about Karl Marx.
Yeah.
That both of you were on individually, where they'll like tackle specific subjects. So I'm sure there's one like about Jesus, but I don't think that there hasn't been one crafted and made by Jesus camp teachers.
Well, but okay,
apostles.
No, this is what I was saying earlier. You got to corner a market, baby. We should make it. We should make Christian anime and make a fucking bazillion, a fucking boneload of dollars, you know?
Honestly, yeah, because like there's no reason that it can't be now that like young teens aren't little atheist shits, there's no reason we can't use that to radicalize them.
I think it's a good idea. It's just that I have very little faith in me, Anders, and Jake's ability to make a good anime,
No.
whether it is Christian or not. None of us make any anime. I can barely write.
Well, you can draw it, and Anders
No,
can
that's what I'm
write it,
saying.
and then I'll do the voice of, hey guys, I'm Jesus. Oh,
that sounds
no. Mary.
Did we talk?
I'm going to get in trouble with Mary if I don't get back from my training in time.
I mean, it's got to have some new incarnation because they've been riding the like emo sort of pop punk wave for so long, like Christians, to sort of indoctrinate that way.
Well, it's Christians will they're sneaky. They'll figure out what the kids are into. They don't try with adults as much because they try to get people young when their brains are still malleable. So the thing that would happen to me a lot of the time growing up was that you'd get invited to a punk show and you'd think like, I'm going to go see Melt Banana or fucking some crazy shit. And then you'd show up and it was like Bless Fest 2000 or something. And it's like, you know, a ska band. But that was my time when I was a youth, right? I would imagine now they're trying to co-opt like the deep fried memes and stuff, and like, it's that boy, the son of God, you know, here he comes. He's a gecko riding a unicycle or something.
Epic. Jesus, if you really are the son of the Lamb, why don't you stop praying and drink this beer?
Oh no. I'm feeling conflicted.
That's right.
Whenever I feel conflicted, I remember John 3:17. And then he reads some shit.
He remembers books that haven't been made yet. No!
Yeah.
Anime is about passion, and that's why it is a good fit for Jesus. If you have the ability to make this right in, we want to get in touch with you. We want to make a lot of cash. 2021's the year of cash.
Actually, it'd be more funnier if the guy tempts him with like a beer, and then he's just like, KO can attack, and he just like kills the shit out of him.
It rips his heart out of his chest. There's a fun turning point in Dragon Ball where they decide that it's actually not realistic anymore because the violence gets too gross. They start like ripping people's hearts out one time. They're like, actually, that we don't do that anymore. Just beams now. It's a show for kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
DBZ.
I'm playing the Kakarot video game. It's pretty fun.
I've heard that's the best way to experience the story, the greatest story ever told.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's like playing the TV show.
It's a role-playing game where you play as Goku, Anders. Interested?
Oh, really? You get to play as a DBZ guy. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. They let you hop straight into the pilot seat. You want to give it a ride?
Do you get to do it with the Oculus glasses? That's what I want to get.
No, I don't think so.
No?
You could just put those on and then do it.
Well, I don't have them. Right. Maybe you can. I don't know. I bought another video game that somebody told me, oh, yeah, it's like that game is for that. I got the Star Wars like Squadron game where you're like an X-Wing fighter, and then somebody told me that you're supposed to do that in VR. It's like it sucks if you don't have it. I don't have it though.
Really?
Jesus, you've turned off your targeting reticle.
I'm thinking of investing in it possibly, but they don't. Yeah, it seems like they don't have that many games. This is one of them apparently, but like I was looking at the football games because my fantasy has always been to like live my dream, which is to be an NFL quarterback and like actually take snaps and feel like I'm in a game, professional game. But it's a very
you've been sitting on this one. I've never heard you mention this before.
Oh yeah, it's my number one fantasy that I've always wanted to do. But the thing is though, the game sucks. That's the only like football ones they have. It's just like very crude drawings of like another guy who you kind of throw it to, and it's not like actually taking snaps and calling.
It's not POV. Is your complaint? You wish Madden was like you were in it?
Yeah, like Madden, you're in it, because now with Madden, basically all you do is just like press which receiver you throw it to. That's the only like skill of the game is decision making. But you have actually like accuracy and movement, and would be for like a virtual reality thing. That is my dream, to play one of those games and get a workout that way.
Why don't you just play football then?
Because I suck, I guess.
Why don't you just play football with other people that suck at football?
Yeah, you just play with comedians and then not trip on anybody.
It could make it happen. My hands are too small for me to really be a good quarterback, though, unfortunately. I live right by a high school.
Oh.
And they have a football
flex.
Reminds me of another orange man I know. Small hands. Who's also a Christ figure. He died this winter for us.
He's also...
And he's giving us $2,000.
$2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to him for that, by the way. He didn't have to do that. Donald Trump, president of the week.
Is there weird Christian...
He didn't have to do that, and I kind of don't think he will.
No, he's just doing it because he knows it's pissing off Nancy Pelosi or something. But, I mean, it would be pretty funny if he does pull it off. But is there, like... There's got to be, like, weird Christian art of him being crucified, right?
Absolutely.
Trump being crucified?
Yeah, he's a stand-in for Christ. With, like, the suit and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been more confident of anything in my life than that this exists.
I'll look it up. Trump.
There's a lot
Everyone
of, like...
silently Googled Trump crucified.
Let's see.
Yeah, there's a lot to work with here.
But they all seem like satirical.
There's also a bunch against where he's the centurion.
There's one where he's self-crucifying.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
How does anyone pull that?
Oh, there's one where he's up on a McDonald's.
That's pretty cool. Oh man, that rules. That'd be so cool if like that happened, and then there's like a new cult of people who wear like a McDonald's arches around their neck. It's in gold.
Yeah. Also, like the whole process of him slowly dying on a McDonald's sign would be. You wouldn't need to make movies after that. I mean, that's all I need.
What do we think his next moves are?
He's going to get crucified on a McDonald's sign.
Yeah.
Possible. Not unlikely.
It's
not
think
unlikely.
He's going to do... Because I remember in 2016, the big thing was like, oh, he's just doing this to make his own TV network. Because he's a TV guy. That doesn't seem unlikely to me that he does that. I mean, whatever.
I think he does that, but he also is going to just try to sue about how he is actually the president until he dies now, because he has the brain a baby has and is going to get stuck on this. That's my guess.
I mean, we'll find out in less than a month, because his
but we got to get in on the
this,
predictions economy.
I know, but what I'm getting at is we're going to find out on my birthday. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Inauguration day is my birthday. My 30th birthday was when he got sworn in. It was awesome. Everyone got so fucking drunk. It was like the craziest night ever in Williamsburg. It was crazy.
Oh, you know what I bet he's going to do? Is skip the inauguration. I bet he's probably not going to go.
He's probably going to get high in the parking lot.
But across the street, I guess in Lafayette Park, do a ceremony where he walks up and like hangs himself on a cross. Not hangs himself, but like he's like standing beneath a giant cross and like acts like he's being crucified.
That'd be awesome.
You really do think he's going to get crucified, Anders? You think that's going to happen?
I mean, it's a good punishment. It's a good way to make an example and kill somebody. You know, it kind of the whole thing got, reconceived because of one guy, right? It was a solid way to take out it really
misunderstood.
It really scratched out a fool.
Yeah.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, you know.
There you
go. It rhymes. That's right. That's how we got Jar Jar Binks as president, all right?
Am I right?
Am I right? That's what George Lucas said. Now we got Jar Jar Binks as a president.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a good podcast.
Well, it is probably the best one we've ever done.
Yeah.
My mom has bean burritos downstairs that I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's enough. We said enough weird stuff for people to get mad at us, and it's a sort of unintentionally/intentionally de facto advertise the show for us.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, if you're a Trotskyist, please inveigh against me for sort of glamorizing the Popular Front and the New Deal.
Right. Also for saying Lenin is Jesus and that also they're Goku.
I'm pretty sure somebody will be mad that I said softball is the lesbian sport, because I'm not 100% that that's it, but there's one that's like
I think it's rugby.
It's not rugby. Field hockey. Field hockey is the most lesbian sport I could think of. I can't believe that got shut down.
My mom used to play field hockey.
You heard what I said.
Well, that's why she's married.
Your mom and dad met on lesbians chat.
We already
got together. They had
established that your dad's a lesbian, so it makes sense that he's married to a lesbian.
I guess so. People, I had a friend growing up who was like, "I thought your mom was a lesbian because she's really nice," which I don't think makes
what the fuck
any sense. But at the time, it was like, "Oh, okay, that's the thing."
Oh yeah, I get that a lot. Because of how nice
stereotype is usually the opposite, right?
I think so.
Well, let's not gas it around anymore.
Okay.
Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you have a good new year. And this one's in the dumpster because it's a dumpster fire.
Oh, this year's been. It's like a fucking fire that's in a dumpster. It's full of garbage people. And
why does this fire smell like shit?
You want to know something? I've been doing Duolingo, and I looked at there's a little page on Duolingo where they just have like updates and stuff, and they do like a year-end wrap-up, and they're like, guess what the most common translated phrase of 2020 was? And there's a little Duolingo illustration of a dumpster on fire. It's like, man, in all languages, this hack shit is happening. You can't stop it.
Across the world, cringe spreading from one coast to the next.
Yeah, el cringe.
If you're my one, I have a follower on Twitter. You know who you are. I'm not going to name him, but he constantly replies to my tweets, and he'll make it about just random stuff, and he tweets a GIF of a dumpster on fire, and he just keeps doing it.
Yeah,
he's like obsessed.
Gotta stop with that. That's a 1,000,000-year-old joke.
That's harassment of Anders, and that is not okay.
I've seen
Anders is precious.
I've seen multiple real fires in dumpsters in my life, actually.
If you saw them, you wouldn't joke about it because it's not funny.
Yeah. That's a raccoon lives in there.
It's very sad.
Yeah, there could be a raccoon in there.
All right.
It could spread and cause property damage. Anyway, that's the podcast.
I think it might be our last one of the year. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll put one out for New Year's. But if not, hey, it was great having this one-sided relationship with all of you yet another year. Thank you for keeping the lights on around here. Ha ha ha. I did a joke about how we're podcasting in the dark.
That's right.
All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Where am I?
Patreon.
Happy New Decade.
Patreon.com/PodDamnAmerica. Merch in the show notes. Why You Mad? Ballin' Out Super Redacted Tonight. At Feral Jokes, at Patak Jokes, at Anders Lee here. That's all I
say. Thank you, Tom Hathaway, for the nice notes. He sent us a message.
Thank you.
And thank you to Charlotte Clymer.
Oh, yeah. We got drunk.
Our other biggest fan.
And thank you
for defending Israel.
And thank you to Mel Gibson. All right. This is a podcast.
All right. It's finished.
It's finished.
It's finished.